Hello everybody, my name is Anri and welcome today to another chess video. Now, as you may know, I reached 128 subscribers, a special number, since it is 2 raised to the power of 7. So once we get to 256, that would be another raising of the number 2, and that's when I'll make another special. But this chess special is going to be what I call bullet mentality. This mentality, just when you get these tips that I'm about to share you with these 8 games that I just played today, it perfectly showcases what is the best to do in bullet when you are rated less than 1500. So for people who are above 1500, I will disappoint you. I don't know how these tips will work at the top level, but if you're under 1500, highly recommend, because these tips will help you go on mad winning sprees in bullet. So let's see what I had to say about the first game. I said hung a queen. Okay, so let's see how you win a bullet game when you're down a queen. So, okay, I'm probably just gonna mute my computer voice. There we go. So, what you want to do is that I immediately hung my queen because I was pre-moving. Fine, happens. Now, how do you convert a position? Well, first of all, you begin by getting all your pieces out. Look at my pieces. They're all out. Everything is out. I'm about to start. Immediately, what you want to do is start asking questions. He's up a queen. He has to be the one asking questions, causing problems. If you do that, you waste his time. And look at his poor development. I mean, what the frick even is that? So, we immediately continue asking questions. Asking questions. I don't care that I hung an exchange. Ask questions. You may hang more pieces, but here he did a critical flaw. Always go for the attacking. And when this happened, well, that's just mate in 1. So why did I win this game? I won it because I was constantly asking him questions. Even though that lost some pieces, never mind, I'm down a queen, I'm down a knight, it's completely fine. This is bullet. You just have to ask questions and an opportunity will come. So let's see what I had to do in the second game. In the notes I have down a rook and I mated. So let's see how you play down a rook, so down a little bit less material. As you may see, I played the Scandinavian and I pre-moved. Everything this is pre-moved because it is just so easy to do things. Yes, I did lose a horse in the opening, but this is the move. You want to play b5. Why? Complicate things. Open lines. I don't care that I lost a piece. I was gonna lose it anyway. But you want to complicate those lines. Now another thing, bring the rook forward, so that you always set up pins and discovered attacks. No one sees pins and discovered attacks in bullet, I'm telling you, nobody. If you set those up, it is very likely that you will win material. Since material is not always the most important thing, another thing, pawn structures. You want the opponent to have a dumb pawn structure, so in case of an endgame, it is easier to navigate. And you see, by asking all of these questions that he had to think what the best attacking move was, look at the time! I'm up half a minute in a game of 60 seconds. And I just chop, leave him with more things to do than he knows what to do with. And look, he's down to 3 seconds. Only one rook is dividing us. And I'm always recommending make the left for the king. You will forget. Trust me, you will. And I even pre-moved this. I pre-moved rook to e1. People forget when they're attacking that their king still exists. So this is how you win down the rook. Again, asking questions. That is one thing. And the second thing is just don't resign. It's bullet. In bullet, you only want to resign. You basically never want to resign. Never ever. So let's see the third game. For the third game, I have notes. Always dirty flag. Well, let's see how that one works out. Okay, we play into the opening. From the opening, you can already see I'm up 3 seconds because I'm pre-moving stuff. Immediately asking questions, doing everything. Yes, I did lose that knight. Sure, I did lose that exchange, but at what cost? His time is much lower, and I have more initiative. So I just go forward. Yes, I did lose some more pieces, but this is bullet, you always will. Another thing that I'm trying to do here is bring my pawns forward and leave my king safe. You want your king to be as safe as possible, even if that requires sacrificing material, and his king to be as open as possible, even if that requires sacrificing material. But I will get to that. He pushes pawns, but like, stop him. I have the loft for the king. And now just run. You will lose the pawns, so just run. Run to the middle, and once you start losing material, lose all of it. And then leave him with an endgame he has to think about. If I did not trade the rooks here, he would have won easily. But now I leave him with stuff to think about. Run, and if you get what I call the pre-moving streak. If we look back to this position, I was the one who got the pre-moving streak. Because from this point forward, you can see my time barely changing, and he just has to, because for pre-move, you only use 1/10 of a second. So I can just pre-move this in 1 second, and each time I make a move, he has to drag it by his mouse, which is like 5 to 10 times slower. And that is how you dirty flag. Look at his time usage. See? 0.6 seconds, 0.2 seconds, and I always just have those little time saves that help you win this game. Of course, I'm also at 19 seconds. So that is how you dirty flag. Let's say for the fourth game, I have always make complications. We have had this one, but you can see in this game I just literally hung Scholar's Mate, but he's just expecting me not to do it at this point because, you know, pre-moving. Take, and you can immediately make me see. This move would make no sense in Blitz. He would just do this. But make the complications. Okay, okay, okay. Lose that piece, sure. But make complications. Sack everything. You can see me sack everything here. But look at these pieces, like there is nothing. This entire time I was just opening up lines, and now I'm gonna feast on all of you. And he has no time to defend it all. To defend my threats that I'm just actively creating. Again, you see, now my rook is just in, and you have to always keep this pawn guarded or push it and lose the bishop. So you have to first make room for the bishop and everything. You have to think about that. But meanwhile, I make new threats, and I'm of course completely dead lost. But who cares about that? Look at me, always just asking, and he loses on time. Because I just always leave him something to think about. Oh, look. Now your knight is hanging, do something about it. Okay, now your pawn is hanging. Now this pawn would be hanging. Okay, now move it, but now your bishop is hanging. Okay, but now go back. You have to take. And I make him drain his time because he has to think about his moves. One move attacking moves, you don't have to think about them. You lose some material, fine, you'll gain it back, it's bullet. Anyway, that was always make complications. For the fifth game, I've always leave him stuff to think about in time pressure. So let's see in time pressure. Okay, another random opening. We play into another line. You see, I didn't even allow him to castle. That's another good thing. The king has to be open, and this king is beautifully open here. An open throat. I'm Jack the Ripper when it comes to chess. And immediately, we are asking questions, and suddenly, we are down into an endgame that is level. It is equal. But there is one person who is asking questions in this endgame. The one that hung the rook. Okay, sure. But watch me go to work. I never left him without something to think about. I never traded my rook. The thing that makes the most amount of pressure, I never traded that. And now I got rid of his dangerous pawns, and it's now just his rooks. And I take, and look at his time. He has 10 seconds less than me, and he has to think of a way to, with my annoying pawns and my annoying king and my even more annoying rook, somehow trade my rook off, which of course I'm not gonna allow so easily, and get his pawns running. Easy to do in Blitz, not so easy to do in Bullet. You can just see, he's giving checks and he just hung his rook right back. And now, look, attack his rook, attack it, he doesn't know where to go, he doesn't know, he loses it with check. Still it's equal, still it's equal, still it's equal, still it's equal. Now he checks, okay, go back, go there, and you suddenly are losing. And you have to know this. He cannot catch that. The king is not in the square. Sorry. The king has to be in the square. This is a very important thing. You gotta know when to take that trade. Here it's completely winning. I get the queen, and what you want to do in this position is win the other pawn, and for instance, just win the other pawn, park your queen like here, so that he can never cross this line, promote to a rook so you don't stalemate, and pre-move the ladder checkmate, with always giving checks in the ladder checkmate. Because there is the famous, it's very famous because I have used it in many of my games, ladder checkmate, that is actually stalemate. So you lead to stalemating, or the king could have been here, it would be stalemate too. It is a very, very famous ladder checkmate. So always, if you're playing white here, try to be one step ahead from the queen so that the stalemate can happen. And when you're playing black here, try to always give the check, because when there is a check, it can only be a mate. It cannot be a stalemate. Get it? Good. Let's look at what do I have in the next game. The notes: create and thrive in chaos. Little material loss is irrelevant. Precisely what I was trying to say. What I was wanting to say with the chaos is open up his king and never look at this position after 11 moves. It's completely ridiculous. The pawn structure is out of place. Everything like looks at everything. Someone is never getting developed. The king is in the center. It can go both ways. It's just complete chaos. And what you want to do here is, I'm under attack and I'm losing. But, like, create chaos. Attack his queen. Sure, if this bishop wasn't here, I would have still done it, because it creates a bit of chaos. And now suddenly, uh-oh, I don't care that Stockfish is thinking it's dead lost. No one finds it. Uh-oh. Look at your time. You have 8 seconds. Why? Because I always asked you, I always questioned what you were doing. And as I said here, thrive in chaos. In chaos, he had to think. He was the one attacking. He was the one up material. He had to think, and he did not. And what ended up happening is just me smoothly winning my rook. And the conversion after this point was very simple. He just ran out of moves. He wasn't able to move fast enough. He just simply wasn't. If you get that pre-moving streak, this was like, you go like this in bullet. This is what you do in pre-moving, so that he needs to do these slow moves, because he cannot react sufficiently fast enough. And if you throw in checks, it's even better, because he has to move his mouse across the screen to the king. So okay, that's, you make chaos and you thrive in chaos. Now let's say what I have for this game. Open the king up. So this is a game to demonstrate what I was saying, opening up the king. So immediately you can see me playing the exact same openings over and over again. Again, mate in 2, but it's irrelevant. Everyone misses that. Yes, I hung. Yes, everything's hanging. Yup. Okay, so what's the position? I am down a knight, a pawn, and a bishop. It's -6. My king is open, but you can surely see that he castled his king, with his pieces being fairly underdeveloped. And so what I did from the start is that I just continued attacking him. I tried to shut down his bishop here, if you saw that. And he had to do a lot of time, spend a lot of time like attacking my rook, but it ended up doing completely nothing. And suddenly I have this battery. If you move it, I'm still gonna crash through. So what do? You moved it? Oh, that's sweet. Now what you will do now? What did I tell you about setting up pins? That no one sees pins and no one sees discovered attacks. Precisely what I did here. So I just won a bishop back. And now I just rip him open. I don't care about whatever he's doing. I rip his king open. Yeah, take. And now rip him open again. And checkmate him because he's stupid. So again, this wouldn't be possible if my only objective at around this point wasn't just ripping the king open. You're down so much material, you can only go for the king. And the last game, in my notes I have always guard the passed pawn. So passed pawns become queens, right? So let's see how I handled it in this game as well. Wait, this is the same game. I opened it twice accidentally, hold up. This is the one that I wanted, sorry about that. So again, always guarding the passed pawn. So we have another opening that is fairly simple. You can see my pawn structure is terrible, but I asked questions. I'm already up 4 seconds on the clock. Move the king, like just move him away. No one needs him. Just move him. Okay. Now I'm left in a position when I'm down a pawn and the opponent and I have a wide open king. Not ideal, but I also have many threats to my opponent. How does he deal with them? Not in the best way. Now he does create a passed pawn, but my rooks are super active, so this is a winning endgame for me. But I have to guard the passed pawn. You have to do everything to guard your opponents and your passed pawns, because they are more valuable than the other pieces on the board, especially in positions like this. So, guarding everything, guarding him, guarding, yup, asking questions again with the random checks. Yes, I did hang the rook here, but like bullet. It wouldn't matter anyway. And here I was able to find a beautiful pattern, just checkmate. And it all came from me just always guarding the passed pawn. It is more dangerous than the pieces. And suddenly, when you're given the chance, checkmates will come. And you always have to look like the king has nowhere to run, and don't go to places where you can't run. It's different when it's you can hide behind these two pawns and alternate and like run around them and, you know, ding dong ditch. But it's very different when it's that the pawns are actually your prison. And I have a bonus tip. Play similar opening structures. Throughout all of these you saw that I either played e4 when I was white and d5 when I was black. So anyway, may God bless you all.